Hello guys, here with a new video for the channel. I hope you like it, and if you like it, don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment, and subscribe. Now without further ado, get comfortable. Let's begin. Kakarot had opened a portal to the dimension of the creator god Luciel. However, in spite of the amazing thing that was his power, it was not enough to connect him completely. Nevertheless, with all the anger that he had, Kakarot would give a strong roar of beast, which was able to connect all the necessary dimensions to go to the negative creator god. But at that moment that Kakarot was about to enter this dimension, a powerful blow would send him to crash into the kingdom of everything. At that moment, Kronos would come out of the portal, and with a big smile, he would stand in front of all the warriors. Damn worms. They're useless. So, now I'll keep all their powers. Kronos at that moment would carry a great dragon of energy, but the attack was different since the moment of the collision, hundreds of rays were connected between them, and in the same way all the power would begin to enter his whole body. Vegeta, realizing this, at his maximum speed he launched himself to prevent it, but it had already been too late. That's right, at that moment the Prince of the Saiyans had been sent to fly hundreds of kilometers with multiple serious wounds throughout his body. At the moment, a great explosion would be created all over the place, and at that moment of dissipating it, it could be observed to Kronos, which his body radiated an incredible power. Kakarot, at that moment of recovering from the blow, would launch an attack against Kronos. But great was the surprise of all when observing how the furtive blow of Kakarot had been stopped with only one of the hands of Kronos had given a great blow which would send him to fly all around. Are you really the chosen one by the god creator, Ryakuga? You're too weak. Kronos at that moment, he approached everyone and amazing pressure would fall all over the place, leaving everyone in awe of the power he gave off. That's right, however, at that moment, an equally powerful pressure would be felt. Your power's great. Now I can finally use the new power that I was able to achieve. Kakarot at that moment would begin to increase his power to the maximum, leaving astonished all those present. That's right, the power he was releasing was shaking all the universes. Even planets were destroyed by such excess energy. At the moment, rays came out of the body of Goku, and an extremely incredible explosion, which would even send Vegeta, Daishinkan, and Yikami to fly, Kakarot would be observed in the Celestial Super Saiyan 3. I hope you're ready to taste a small power of my true power. Meanwhile, in a very distant place, Lucia was watching everything that happened, being a little surprised by the power that this Saiyan gave off. That's right, his power was so great that even Lucia had been amazed. The power of that Saiyan's incredible, although it still doesn't compare with my true power. But it does seem that Kronos will have a serious problem. I'll have to keep collecting energy. Luciel, while watching the battle, hundreds of millions of energy entered his body, belonging to millions of beings from all the omniverses. Returned to the battlefield, Kakarot and Kronos had launched one against the other. At the time of colliding their fists, millions of planets were blown into pieces. Kakarot, while exchanging fists with Kronos, had noticed that the three warriors had trouble breathing. At that moment, Kronos would connect a great blow, which would make him fall to the ground. Kakarot would recover quickly, being able to throw a great barrier of energy towards his companions. Now I can fight without worrying since they'll be safe. It doesn't matter what you do, because when I'm done with you, they'll become food for the creator god Luciel. That'll only happen if you manage to finish me off. At that moment, a great dragon would come out of Kakarot's fist. However, Kronos, with only one of his hands, would be able to disintegrate it. But this was nothing more than a simple distraction, because the real attack was coming from his side. That's right, at that moment, a powerful fist of Kakarot sent it to fly to a nearby planet. Kronos had fallen to an amazing power, being dragged all over the place. So that's why you don't trust me. I'm not a being which you can underestimate. I'm the successor of the legendary creator god Ryakuga. Kakarot at that moment would begin to charge one of his most powerful attacks, throwing it without thinking. Kronos, observing this in the same way, would quickly throw an attack. The attack of both was destroying everything in its path. After a big explosion, Kakarot would be sent to fly hundreds of meters, while Kronos, with his last reserves of energy, would be able to return to the dimension where Lucille was. At the end of the smoke, Kakarot was with some energies, however, nothing that endangered his life. At that time, Kakarot would approach his friends, however, the most surprised would be Vegeta, as the power of Kakarot had exceeded it by dozens of times.
Kakarot, have you been able to get all that power? Your power and mine were evenly matched, and in all this time you were spent out of combat. I should be more powerful.
The creator god Ryuga was able to give me to wake up much faster, but don't worry, Vegeta, he left this for you.
Kakarot would throw a large sphere of energy towards Vegeta, which was wrapped in a highly destructive purple aura. That's right, Vegeta was releasing his power in an amazing way, and he was able to take this Ultra Ego to a level never seen before in the divine world. At least a large explosion, Vegeta could be observed, which seemed to not have changed in the least. But the power he gave off was overwhelming.
This power is amazing. I can't believe the power that I have now. With this power, nothing and no one will be able to defeat us.
Don't trust Vegeta because the power of Lucille, the creator god that we must defeat, is incredible. We must train and be prepared, although I have the perfect technique to defeat him.
What's that technique, Kakarot? I want to end this once and for all, and I want to return to the plane of Vegeta.
We'll make the fusion, and we'll create the supreme warrior who will be able to end the life of Lucille once and for all.
Fusion? Is this possible between two beings who surpass the power of a king at all? Won't the body explode?
Of course not. There are two methods of fusion. One which is the dance, and the second which is the one we'll use through the earrings of the Supreme Kaio-samas.
I'm not gonna merge with you, you damn insect.
We only do it if it's necessary, Vegeta, since we don't know the limit of Lucille's power, so we better start training.
I like that much better. Now I'm ready. Prepare to become more powerful.
At that moment, Kakarot would increase his power to the maximum. That's right, Kakarot, with that great power that was able to seal the entire multiverse of Zeno-sama, so that nothing and no one would be able to enter or leave, unless it exceeded the power of Kakarot. At that moment, the three warriors began to train in a much more savage and aggressive way. However, Daishinkan was far beyond the powers of both saiyans. However, at that moment, the form of Zeno-sama would represent in the entire multiverse.
I like you, Goku. Despite all my spiritual C, but it would take me approximately 1,000 years, so I entrust this power to Daishinkan.
At that moment, the power of Zeno-sama was entering the body of Daishinkan, which with so much power was going to explode. But Kakarot, with an amazing speed, had given him thousands of blows in his veins of energy to stabilize. At that moment, the body of Daishinkan was stabilized. However, 75% of the power of Zeno-sama was sealed, so if he absorbed all the power of Zeno-sama at once, he'd be able to explode.
Daishinkan-sama, first master all the power that you have now. The more power you master, the more power you have. The more power you'll be part of your spiritual sea.
Understood, Kakarot. Then it is time to train with much more dedication and much more effort to be able to finish with that wretch.
Meanwhile, returning to Lucille's dimension, Kronos had arrived in terrible conditions, and at that moment he would fall to the ground. Lucille, observing him, would stretch one of his hands, throwing an astonishing negative energy on Kronos.
If you're able to dominate all that power, you'll survive. The negative energy will heal each one of your wounds, but if you're not able to dominate it, the negative power will finish you off.
Kronos at that moment would begin to vomit large amounts of blood. That's right, the power he had obtained was destroying his body from the inside.
It hurts. It hurts too much.
After a few days in which Kronos had felt the most agonizing pain, an overwhelming power had come out of Kronos' body. That's right, Kronos was able to dominate all that majestic power, and in the same way, all the powers of his body had begun to heal quickly.
I thank you for the power that my lord has granted me. With this power, I'll be able to defeat one of those miserable saiyans.
I don't want you to trust me, so increase your power, and if necessary, gather the demonic spheres and ask for reinforcements, because this battle will not be easy at all.
Of course I'll train, my lord, but tell me, which warrior will we bring to life with his spheres?
I have the perfect candidate.
the being who's never known defeat, the exterminator of kings, gods, and even gods, the being who took his own life, since no one was a match for his power.
Kronos was very surprised since he had never heard of such an amazing being as that one.
I've never heard of a being such as that power. He's the being that very few beings know, since he annihilated every being that fought him. The only being that survived the fighting with him you have seen in front of your eyes. My lord, have you been able to fight against someone of that power? That's right. That's why I'm called the Negative Creator God. The power of that being is amazing, and hardly a warrior could surpass it. Understood, sir. I'll gather the dark spheres right now.
Meanwhile, returning to Kakarot and the three others, the warriors were having an amazing training, being able to surpass the power of a king at all, and being able to break the barrier of a multiversal level.
I have now been able to master Zeno-sama's power to 50%. My power has increased in an amazing way.
I'm very proud of you, Daishinkan-sama. We're getting closer and closer to be able to master all our powers and be able to finish with the evil root of all, since that damn Lucio is the being that spreads his negativity throughout all the universes.
That wretch will know defeat. I'm the prince of the saiyans. That'll be the being that'll finish him off.
Vegeta, we have increased our powers in an incredible way, but we must be ready in case it's not enough. We know both fusions.
Yes, damn insect, but it won't be necessary since our power has been able to surpass any being.
Meanwhile, returning to Kronos and Lucio, Kronos had been able to gather all the negative spheres. At the moment of invoking the great dark god, an amazing negativity would be felt all over the place.
You bastards have awoken me from my sleep. Tell me, what is your wish?
Dark Dragon, what I want is for you to bring to life the legendary Kingslayer. Even the Dark Dragon would be a little surprised.
Do you know what you're asking me? If that being comes back to life, he'll be able to kill all the beings of the multiverses and even omniverses.
Of course I know. Just fulfill my wish and leave.
Okay, I will do what you ask me to do.
At that moment, the eyes of the great dragon would light up, and at that moment, an amazing power would appear. Even lightning bolts, fireballs, and everything around him would tremble because of the power that had appeared. Even the barrier of Kakarot would crack. From a great explosion, an opposing warrior would be observed.
Well. If it isn't you, Lucille, the only being that was able to endure a battle against me.
So, you recognize me. I think that's excellent.
Why did you bring me to life? If you don't have a good answer, I swear I'll kill you, since I've increased my battle level even more.
I know, but wouldn't you like to kill Ryuga's descendants?
I find this very interesting. Of course I'll help you, but first, observe my power limit.
At that moment, Archon began to increase his power to the maximum. Even shadows and negativity came out of his aura, and in the same way, all the multiverses were trembling because of all the power he was giving off. What will happen next? Find out in the next chapter. Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time. Hello guys, here with a new video for the channel. I hope you like it, and if you like it, don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, get comfortable. Let's begin.